Indiana elementary schools are implementing a new law to hold back third graders who don't pass the state's iRead literacy test. As Ethan Sandwise reports, test scores are up across the board, but that doesn't necessarily relieve the pressure on students and teachers.
Edgewood Intermediate School has seen passing rates increase 4% since 2023, a gain that third grade teacher Deborah Tanner says has as much to do with showing up for her students and making reading fun as it does with the new law.
Well, I go watch their football games or watch them cheer, play baseball, and it's not about a test score. So when I tell them, you're going to do this and you're going to kill it, they believe me and they give it everything they've got.
iRead results help teachers track a student's progress, and Tanner says students taking the test in second grade gives her a pretty good idea which students are going to benefit most from extra intervention. Students at Edgewood have a lot of books to choose from, and they get to spend time in small groups with teachers working on subjects that interest them. But the iRead retention law does raise the stakes, and teachers feel that.
I feel like it's my fault if they don't succeed, and anything we can do to motivate them, we're going to use that.
Senate Bill 1 had a few items on literacy, such as requiring teachers to apply the science of reading in classrooms and creating a literacy cadre to train primary school teachers. Passing rates for iRead are up 5%, an unprecedented single-year increase, one that puts Indiana at pre-pandemic levels, but lower than previous years. The law also holds back third graders who don't pass iRead after several attempts. Based on 2023 numbers, Indiana's Legislative Services Agency estimated that more than 7,000 more students could repeat third grade this year with the new provisions.
iRead 3 caused the classroom to become a pressure cooker, unlike anything that I think that people had seen for a very long time.
At Templeton and Fairview elementary schools in Monroe County, 1 in 4 third graders failed to pass. The Monroe County School Corporation says most qualified for exemptions and went on to the 4th grade. Less than 1% of students in the district were held back. MCCSC declined an interview.
Some kids may not be moved on to the next grade, but those are so much better determined by the educators and the families that know the specific child.
The bill's author, Republican state senator and former teacher Linda Rogers, says retention is a last resort.
The genesis of the bill is identifying students early when they start school in kindergarten, continue to monitor them, do a screener so we can identify students that may be at risk.
Data on statewide retention won't be out until October, but since Indiana mandated use of the science-based techniques to teach reading, scores have been up in almost every district. Staff at local elementary schools say the secret is taking pressure off the students.
We know that iRead's important, but we also know that our big goal is for students to read confidently and accurately. And so we feel that as long as we are teaching kids that piece, iRead will come around.
But it can be hard to keep that pressure off the students. At the Project School, a K-8 charter school in Bloomington, teachers tackle literacy by tying reading to other projects, such as theater and music.
The reality is if you can read but you don't want to, we haven't done you much good.
Despite most of its students passing, Deersing still hears from students who worry about being held back.
This mom said to me, oh, she's terrified. She's terrified to take this test.
Occasionally, Deersing says, holding back a student can be the right move. The Project School retained 1 student this year who failed iRead, but qualified for an exemption based on a conversation between the school and parents. But it's important, she says, that schools have the autonomy to make that decision.
I think that the implications of retention are really challenging everywhere because we know there isn't great research to support retention.
For Indiana News Desk, I'm Ethan Sandwise.